Hi, my name is Maggie McGrath. I'm the editor of ForbesWomen, and today I'm here to tell you about our 16th annual Power Women ranking. It's our list of the world's 100 most powerful women across business, media, entertainment, technology, finance, and politics. To report out our list of the world's most powerful women, the ForbesWomen team combs through all the lists that already exist here at Forbes. The Forbes 400, the World's Billionaires list, Self-Made Women. We have 13 billionaires on this year's list, in fact. We also look at the Celeb 100, our list of the world's highest paid entertainers. Some of those women, like Taylor Swift and Rihanna, have made our Power Women list because they influence fans around the globe through their music, their social media, and in the case of Rihanna with Fenty, their business. Newcomers in the media and entertainment space also include Reese Witherspoon and Ava DuVernay. Both women have production companies and are shaping the way Americans consume stories, particularly stories about underrepresented communities, about and by underrepresented communities, which is hugely important as we head into 2020. In prior years, when we've done the world's most powerful women list, we've had leaders in South America make the cover of Forbes magazine. Political unrest in the region has led to a drop-off of nearly all of those figures. But in business, this year there's been a resurgence. We have on this year's list, making her debut, Paula Santilli. She is the head of PepsiCo Latin America, a $7.4 billion business. And we also have the new CFO of Petrobras, one of the world's largest oil companies. Both of these women were appointed to their positions in the spring and make their debut on the list this year and give Latin America a resurgence on our Power Women list. In Africa, we looked at heads of states across every country in the continent. What's hard is those GDPs don't measure up to some of the other GDPs in the world. So these women who also aren't always popularly elected have a little bit of a harder time making the list. We have the head of Ethiopia on this year's list, but a number of other ministers of tourism and finance and economy who are on our Women to Watch list, which is a separate list that we have as a web-only piece this year. Coming in at number 1 for the 9th year in a row is German Chancellor Angela Merkel. She runs what is Europe's largest GDP, largest economy. She has a huge impact on the region and on the world. She sits on the European Council, which appoints women like Christine Lagarde, who is number 2 on this year's list. She runs the European Central Bank, was appointed to this position just this year after running the International Monetary Fund for a number of years. And Merkel also helps appoint women like Ursula von der Leyen. She is the new president of the European Commission, the EU's legislative arm, and with that power affects legislation that hits 700 million people and brings her to number 4 on the list. The highest ranking American woman is Nancy Pelosi. She's number 3 on the list and the US Speaker of the House for the 2nd time in recent history. She served as Speaker from 2007 to 2011 and was on the power list back then, dropped off after she fell out of power, after the Democrats fell out of power. But she is back on the list, and she is 2nd in line for the presidency, is the highest ranking elected woman in the United States right now, and leading impeachment proceedings against the president. So one could say that her influence at this moment in time is higher than it's ever been before. So it's a really strong return to the list for Speaker Pelosi. Elsewhere in the top 10, we have Melinda Gates, who is the chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and affecting huge amounts of philanthropy with their work abroad and in the US, focusing on girls' education and health and wellness. Some notable movements include Queen Elizabeth. I talked to scholars and economists about whether or not the Queen is actually powerful, and opinions range, let me tell you. Last year, the Queen was number 23 on the list. This year, she's number 40. I think this is reflected by dint of her giving some of her patronages and charities to her sons and her daughters-in-law. We still think the Queen is a historic figure in the world and in politics and a very important lady, but as she is 93, it does appear like she's ready to transition some of her powers to the king-in-waiting Prince Charles. Another notable newcomer this year is Greta Thunberg, the Swedish climate change activist who is just 16, spoke at the UN General Assembly this year and sparked millions of people to pour into the streets to protest against inaction on climate change. She is number 100 on this year's list. Our methodology does prioritize assets under management, company market cap, revenue, country GDP. Greta has none of these things, but what she does have is social media and influence. She had more news clips about her than almost any other woman on the list, other than Angela Merkel and Nancy Pelosi. So she is a newcomer and showing how power can go beyond just money and market cap. 2017 was the year of Me Too and Time's Up. And 2018 seemed to me the year of fallout from that, a lot of grappling with the revelations that had occurred the year before. 2019, from my reporting, seems to be the year of action, albeit slow action, maybe shifts is the better word. But you have the appointment of women like Christine Lagarde and Ursula von der Leyen. You see funds like Allraise trying to get more money in the hands of female entrepreneurs. Change is happening. It's happening slowly, but the women on the power list are using their power to lift up the next generation and to create gender parity for all.